Good morning, everyone. Today's lecture is genetically modified soybean. Let's start the lecture. A genetically modified soybean is a soybean, glycine max, that has DNA introduced into it using genetic engineering techniques. In 1996, the first genetically modified soybean was introduced to the US by Monsanto. The genetic makeup of a soybean gives it a wide variety of uses, thus keeping it in high demand. It is modified to contain improved nutritional composition, high production, and therapeutic effects. Soybean has been genetically modified to improve the quality of soy oil. Soy oil has a fatty acid profile that makes it susceptible to oxidation, which makes it rancid, which limits its usefulness in the food industry. Genetic modifications increase the amount of oleic acid and stearic acid and decrease the amount of linolenic acid by silencing or knocking out the delta 9 and delta 12 desaturase. Some genetically modified soybeans are Roundup Ready Soybean 1. Roundup Ready soybeans are a series of genetically engineered varieties of glyphosate resistant soybeans produced by Monsanto. 2. Glyphosate kills plants by interfering with the synthesis of the essential amino acids phenylalanine, tyrosine, and tryptophan. These amino acids are called essential because animals cannot make them. Only plants and microorganisms can make them, and animals obtain them by eating plants. Third point is plants and microorganisms make these amino acids with an enzyme that only plants and lower organisms have, called 5-enol pyruvyl shikimate 3 phosphate synthase EPSPS. Fourth point is Roundup Ready. Soybeans express a version of EPSPs from the CP4 strain of the bacteria Agrobacterium tumefaciens, expression of which is regulated by an enhanced 355 promoter E35S from cauliflower mosaic virus CAMV, a chloroplast transit peptide CTP4, coding sequence from Petunia hybrida, and Nopeline synthase, NOS3, transcriptional termination element from Agrobacterium tumefaciens. The plasmid with EPSPS and the other genetic elements mentioned above was inserted into soybean germplasm with a gene gun. Next G, M soybean US, HP for soybean, HP for soybean, whose technical name is IND 410-5 soybean, was created that more efficiently tolerate abiotic stress such as drought or hypersaline conditions. These characteristics result in increased yield compared to unmodified varieties. Risk and regulation of use of GMO soybean. 1. In addition to being less nutritious, GMO soybeans also contain significant levels of glyphosate, the herbicide used on Roundup Ready crops, and amino methylphosphonic acid, AMPA, that glyphosate breaks down into even more toxic than itself. 2. However, in the US, the American Soybean Association, ASA, is generally in favor of allowing new GM soy varieties but with certain regulations, as soybeans should have a maximum residue limit of glyphosate 20 milligrams per kilogram. 9. 1 frickel bee for international trade. 3. Most soy isn't used in human food at all. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, just over 70% of soy grown in the US becomes animal feed and another 5% becomes biodiesel. Roughly a quarter of the soybeans end up in food for human consumption, primarily as highly processed ingredients such as oils, ground meals, and starches with little nutritional value.